All right, this is video 2 for our graphing equations, polar equations to rectangular equations and vice versa. Now we have r equals 5. Looking at our tools, I want you to see if you can figure out what r equals 5 would become. Give you about a minute to work through it. All right, so for this, I hope you recognize that we can't multiply by r like we did before because that's not going to help us on both sides, but we can square both sides. So if we square r, we get r squared. We square 5, we get 25. And this is x squared plus y squared equals 25. And again, if you can picture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have a circle of radius 5, which that's the equation for a circle, going back to your conic section. All right, let's try another one. This is the one that we actually graphed earlier, pi over 6. So we have x equals r cosine theta, y equals r sine theta. Think about how we can do this. All right, theta equals pi over 6. We told you earlier that this is very similar to a line. So there are a couple of different ways we can do this. Let's actually go into the part that says theta equals tan inverse of y over x. Let's just see what that would do. So we know theta is pi over 6. Equals, actually, let's do it the other way. Let's say tan of pi over 6 is equal to y over x. Let's just try that out. Now tan of pi over 6. So pi over 6 is way over here. The point there is root 3 over 2 and 1/2. So if I did tangent, that'd be 1/2 over root 3 over 2, y over x. So that is 1 over root 3 or root 3 over 3. So we can write that as root 3 over 3 equals y over x. And to solve for y, we would say y equals root 3 over 3x. That's our equation. There's another way to do it where you can actually graph it like I did, and then you just think of slope, rise over run. So my rise is the 1/2 part, and my run is that part, and it's going to go through 0, 0. So you can think of it like it's just a line, and you're building it as a y-intercept and a slope, or just use that formula we have at the top. Go ahead and pause the video. Try this going the other way from rectangular to polar. All right, for rectangular to polar, this is pretty straightforward. We know that x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. And then if we square root both sides, we get r equals -2. Now, you could put r equals -2. It just is going to rotate around the axis in a different way. But it's the same graph. So we'll go ahead and say let's always keep it positive. Keep it positive, guys. All right, we have a couple more to work with. X equals 5 and 2x plus 3y equals 5. Give you about a minute to fiddle with it. Pause your video now. All right, as we can see up at the top, r equals cosine theta. So is our x, so we can write that here. And then if we're solving for for r, we're going to have to divide by cosine. And we have r equals 5 secant theta. We're going to keep it secant, okay, because that just is prettier than divided by cosine. For the second one, we're going to replace the x and the y with what they are up at the top. So 2r cosine theta plus 3r sine theta equals 5. And we need to factor out the r. So we have 2 cosine theta plus 3 sine theta equals 5. And then on both sides, we're going to divide by 2 cosine theta and 3 sine theta. And I'm not going to be able to write it over here because I'm running out of space. But your final answer is the 5 over 2 cosine theta plus 3 sine theta. Here we are. Not too bad, right? Just a couple things to memorize. Let's try, ooh, this guy is a circle with centered at 3, 2 and going through, or having a radius of square root of 13. So let's see how we can do this. First of all, this is not very pretty to start. Go ahead and pause this just to multiply it out, because you will need to multiply this out. Pause the video and try it. All right, let's check it out, see what you got. You should have gotten x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus y squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 13. Now we need to move everybody onto the same side. What's super nice about this is that 13, 4, and 9 all cancel each other out on both sides of the equals. So we're looking at x squared plus y squared minus 6x. Wait a minute. Did I put a 4 there? Whoops. Change that up. Sorry, guys. This should have been a y. A y. Okay. And then 6x minus 4y equals 0. Pretty sure that's right. Yes. Okay. So now we have r squared is this. I'm going to move this guy over. 6x plus 4y. Replace x and y with what we're given. 6 r cosine theta and 4 r sine theta. We notice that there's an r in common with the left side and the right side, so we can kind of divide out the r. Technically, we're losing a solution, but that would mean that r is 0, and that's not true for this. We know that the center, it doesn't have 0. That doesn't create a circle. So we're going to have r equals 6 cosine theta plus 4 sine theta. And that is the equation you need. Pretty cool. All right, so we have a wrap up. I do want to go, on the next video, I'm going to show you how you can use a calculator to graph some of these. So I'm stopping this video now, and then I'm going to show you just how to graph these using your calculator. I'll see you in a second.